Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so apologies that I haven't uploaded a video in a day or so now. Obviously the after New Year stuff, just trying to catch up with some personal things, of course. But anyway, back on it. So the trainer of Joseph Parker, the WBO heavyweight champion of the world, his trainer, Kevin Barry, has advised Anthony Joshua to stop overlooking Parker and stop talking about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, that kind of thing. And this is what Kevin Barry had to say. Joshua is already talking about Tyson Fury and Wilder. This is laughable to me. If he's really looking past Joseph Parker, he's in for a huge rude awakening. With Takam, he took that fight on 12 days notice, and Klitschko was 40 years old. Joseph Parker is the most relaxed fighter I've ever worked with as far as controlling his emotions. Whether it's 2, 5, 10 or 80,000 people, it's going to be the same guy that walks into that ring. The same routine that we've had for the last 5 years. I know this is about heavyweight boxing. You need to be able to give a punch, and both these guys can punch. And you need to be able to take a punch. Joseph Parker has never been down as an amateur, as a professional, or even in sparring. I would take him and back him against any heavyweight in the world, and we're looking forward to backing him against Anthony Joshua. So that is Kevin Barry's statement, and with some of the things I can certainly agree with that. I mean, this talk about Wilder, Tyson Fury, all that kind of thing, obviously it has to sit on the back burner. But of course Joshua, in his defense, is retaliating because these guys are permanently calling his name, and every time Anthony Joshua does some kind of interview, somebody will always ask him about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So of course he's going to respond. Now, is he looking past Parker? I wouldn't have thought so. Every time you hear Anthony Joshua speak, whether it be on radio interviews or in newspapers, wherever it may be, he always says that he never ever overlooks his next opponent. He takes every fight seriously. So therefore, when the day comes that he loses, he has no excuses. And that's his own words. So, yeah, I mean, for Kevin Barry to think that Anthony Joshua is overlooking Parker, I wouldn't have thought he is. But obviously, I don't know for a fact. But for me, it does seem that Joshua is just purely responding to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, permanently calling him names, calling him a ducker, calling him a robot, all this kind of thing. So, of course, your natural human reaction is to react to it, right? And that's pretty much what he does. Now, okay, again, Kevin Barry was pretty much responding also to Eddie Hearn, where Eddie Hearn said, which I did a video about, a couple of videos back there, where Eddie Hearn said that he wonders how Joseph Parker will handle the occasion of a huge Anthony Joshua event. In other words, a lot of people and a lot of pro-Joshua fans. And Kevin Barry says it's not going to be an issue. It's one man walking to the ring, stepping into the ring with another one man. When the bell goes, it's exactly the same rules no matter what. The crowd doesn't really play that much of a part. I can disagree with that to a point, but I certainly know where he's coming from. I mean, he is right. Once that bell goes, you pretty much do shut out the crowd. This is what a lot of professional fighters say. But of course, as the fight wears on, the crowd helps you if you're starting to struggle a little bit. So it kind of like ups your game a little bit, if you like. So I don't know whether or not Joshua is going to feel the occasion as well. So if he does start to get in trouble with Joseph Parker, will the crowd really help him out? Personally, I think he will. With Joseph Parker, when you've got, as an example, if it's going to be at the Millennium Stadium or Principality Stadium, if you like, in Cardiff, Wales, which was the venue for Anthony Joshua's last fight against Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker has never been in an arena like that in his life to perform. I mean, his last fight was against Hughie Fury. Yeah, that was in the UK, so he does have foreign fighting experience, if you like. So, in other words, he's not just excluded to New Zealand, and he rose to the occasion pretty well. It wasn't the most attractive fight in the world, but of course, both of these guys have totally different styles. But with Joshua and Parker, their styles are going to make for a very, very interesting fight. I don't think either one of these guys are going to be on their bike. We will certainly see occasions of it, I have no doubt, because if both these guys just keep going forward, the fight isn't going to last more than a round or two, is it? So there will certainly be some back foot tactics in play here. Now, of course, he has mentioned again about the fact that Parker's never been dropped as an amateur, as a pro, or in sparring. Now, okay, so Joshua was dropped by a 40-year-old Vladimir Klitschko, or 41 to be precise. But let's be honest, was that the best Vladimir Klitschko that we've ever seen? No, it wasn't. But he was certainly a far cry from what we have seen in recent years. So over the last 2 or 3 years of him actually performing, I'm talking from Tyson Fury and a year or two before that as well. The Anthony Joshua fight, the Vladimir Klitschko that he fought, was an improved model on all those fights. Of course, I'm talking about Brian Jennings and, of course, Tyson Fury in that as well. So, yeah, Vladimir Klitschko is powerful. Okay, so when he hits you, you go down, 41 years old or not. Okay, so Joseph Parker, again, you all know that I'm a big fan of Joseph Parker, but I have to be honest, he's never been in there with a big puncher, which may be the reason why he's never been dropped before. Now, on the other hand, Joseph Parker is a machine. He will keep coming forward and he will eat up shots all night. And that's one of the things that kind of like stood out for me the very first time that I seen him, well, a couple of years ago now, where he was just walking onto shots. He had zero defense. Now, his defense is much better now, but it's still not there. So he's really going to have to work on that one to have any kind of result against Joshua, unless of course he's going to rely on the old counter punch, or if he believes he can take Joshua's punches. And for me, it's heavyweight boxing. We all know this, we've all said it 100 times now. It doesn't matter who you're in there with, everybody has got that knockout power. Every single heavyweight, there is not one heavyweight who you could arguably say is feather-fisted. These are big guys. Even if they don't knock you out, they're going to hurt you, they're going to stumble you. And when you start stumbling, most of these guys will jump on you. And Anthony Joshua, again, you see a lot of people say that it was Vladimir Klitschko, 41 years old, he never stepped on the gas, this, that and the other, and it was the fact that Anthony Joshua wasn't very good, hence the reason why Vladimir Klitschko looked that much better. I have to disagree with that one. But even if it was, okay, but Anthony Joshua showed that he has heart to get up off the canvas and finish the guy off. Even when he's knackered, he can't even barely lift his own arms, he can't throw punches back, but he's surviving the round, and that showed great heart. But this fight's an interesting one, and of course, he is going to back his guy. You know, he's been working with Joseph Parker for 5 years now, so of course he knows him like the back of his hand. But of course we did get a lot of this talk as well about how Joseph Parker was going to knock out Hughie Fury, and this is a foregone conclusion. We don't care about the referee, the judges, all this kind of thing. Well, they did, because they put in a complaint about it. But ultimately, both Kevin Barry and Joseph Parker were saying, but Hughie Fury is not going to make it the full 12 rounds. He did make it the full 12 rounds, and very, very easily. Again, it was a close fight. I did have Joseph Parker just edging that fight. But still, this is the fight that we all want to see. It's a great fight. Personally, I would have preferred it had it been Wilder versus Joseph Parker. But you know what? It is what it is. These guys want Anthony Joshua to go collect the belts all one at a time. This is what they all want. It's like a Wilder and Parker just don't want to be unifying first and then go and fight Anthony Joshua. They'd rather cash in right now. Now, I use that term loosely, because when I say cash in, I don't mean they're going to go in there and throw their belts in the middle of the ring and say, okay, pay me, here's my chin, put me out. They're not going to do a Charles Martin, okay? Joseph Parker will come there. And this is one of the things that I've always said about Anthony Joshua opponents, especially as of late. Ever since Charles Martin, they've all been pretty much like this, where none of them have really come to win. Yes, you could say Vladimir Klitschko really did come to win. Carlos Takam, he came to survive. Dominic Breazeale, he came in there again to pretty much survive, if you like. But a lot of them, they have money in their mind. They're getting paid life-changing money. Like I said, the exception would be Vladimir Klitschko, because he's already got the money in the bank. But the other ones, from Charles Martin onwards, of course, when they get hurt, they get rocked, they're almost like, well, stuff it, it doesn't matter. I'm getting paid, That's absolutely fine. I'll take an L. I'll go home with my health, with my faculties, no problem. Joseph Parker, he may have that moment that where he gets rocked and the stars start spinning around his head, or he gets a little bit dizzy from one of these big shots or whatever it may be. Will he have that, you know what, stuff it, I'm getting paid a fortune here, I'm ready to go home? So we'll have to wait and see. But for me, I think Joseph Parker will come and will put everything on the line, and we're going to see the best Joseph Parker that we ever have. That's just my opinion, of course. You let me know yours in the comment section below. Click that thumbs up, subscribe, and catch you on next video.